Did y'all know the new comedy Roofman starring Channing Tatum and Kirsten Dunst is based on a true story? This is the most wacky case that I've ever heard, so it's really fitting that this movie is a comedy. So before you go see the movie, here's the story of Jeffrey Manchester, aka the Roofman. Back in 2000, a year before I was born, there was a man named Jeffrey Manchester. He was an Army veteran turned career criminal from North Carolina who got his willy wet from robbing McDonald's. It was because the layout was easy. He used to work there, so he knew it extremely well. So he would specifically target McDonald's restaurants. That Ray William Johnson ass intro. You know, I first heard of this case because of him, I think. No, it wasn't him, but he brought it back in recent memory. He would drill holes into the roof, hold the closing employees at gunpoint, make them stuff the money into his bag to then lock them into a freezer. That is a Mission Impossible ass technique if you ask me. But big old Jeff, my name is Jeff. He wasn't your average ruffian robbing McDonald's, no. He was house trained. He had that southern hospitality. This man, instead of the normal put the money in the bag line that every robber will rupture your eardrums with, he would add please at the end. He'd actually say, put the money in the bag, please, and thank you. He would also apologize for any transgressions he'd caused. But the real kicker is, before he would stuff them into the freezer, he would give them their hoodies and jackets to put on so that they wouldn't freeze. What a saint. And I'm being serious because those freezers are cold. Let me tell you, when I worked at McDonald's, because I used to work at McDick's, right? I was 17 years old and I was asked to grab nuggets from the freezer. I was an inexperienced, skinnier than now child, just weighing like what, 112 at the time. I walked back there. Not only are the shelves like super tall and I had to actually really reach up there to try and get the nuggets, I closed the door behind me and I got stuck. I got stuck for a total of 20 seconds before my manager came back there and opened the door. It's a good thing he actually thought to check on me, because if he didn't give a damn, I probably would have been in there longer. Not freeze to death, but it was... But the whole point of that little side tangent there was the freezers are cold, so big ups to big old Jeff for giving them their hoodies. But one night, Jeff decided to get a little experimental. He would hit up 2 McDonald's restaurants in one night. One in Gastonia and the other in Belmont. I don't know where those are. North Carolina residents, y'all would know better than me. But he would use his normal roof routine to hold the McDonald's employees at gunpoint. But during the second holdup, that's when the police got him. And when the police arrest him, Jeff decided to swear off robbery for good. But in 2004, I turned 3. Then also, this Shawshank Redemption ass motherfucker decided to pull off a no prison can hold me ass escape after only serving 4 years. He did this by hiding under a truck and riding it out of the prison. He would take this truck down the main road where he would then hitch a ride from a local bystander. Then he would stop at a local gas station. From there, he would hitch another ride from a trucker that would take him 40 miles into Charlotte. That's where Jeff would go on to live on the lam and hide out in a local Toys R Us. During his time on the lam, Roofman would live in this local Toys R Us and create a pretty normal small town life for himself. He changed his name to John Zorn, becoming a valued member of a local church called Crossroads Presbyterian, ran by this pastor named Ron Smith. Jeff would become very active in this church, eventually leading him to meet a woman named Lee Wainscott. Lee was a single mother of 3 and also very active in the church, and she'd eventually fall for Manchester, not knowing about his past. They would date for a minute, have their fun. Apparently Jeff was a good guy with Lee and the kids. He builds this entire life all while living within the walls of this Toys R Us. This was all fine and dandy, but the criminal lifestyle, it was still calling Jeff, because he would still go on to rob this Toys R Us at gunpoint, breaking his no robbing vow to the North Carolina police. But this time, Jeff fucks up, because while he had his back turned to make his withdrawal, 2 of the employees he held at gunpoint were able to slip away and call the pigs. Police shows up and Jeff makes his grand escape, except the cross base he's been using to get in and out of the store, it got exposed. He's been using this cross base to get in and out of the store without a trace, and he's been staying also in the local Circuit City, not too far from from this Toys R Us. Circuit City, Toys R Us. Oh my god. I think I'm an unk now, because that is the most early 2000s thing I've ever heard in my entire life. At the Circuit City, the police were able to find a DVD player that Jeff has been using to entertain himself while he was standing there, and they were able to get his fingerprints off of the DVD player, and once it was a match, that's when the manhunt started. All of a sudden, police are putting his mugshot up left and right, boom boom, asking local residents, have you seen this man? Do you know this man? We are looking for this man. Where is Jeff? They would eventually find Lee at her job, who was devastated when she finally received the most shocking news of her life. The man she loves is a no good, dirty crook. After breaking down in tears from the heartbreak, she agrees to help the police set up a catch that they pulled off pretty well. Sources will be linked in the description if you want to see details of the full catch. I'm not going to go through them here, but it was a sting operation. A call was involved, and that's how they were able to find Jeff. But the police catch Jeff, and when the arresting sergeant asks him his name, he says one of the most coldest fucking lines I've ever heard, and I'm imagining this in a stoic voice. The police says, "What is your name?" Jeff says, "You already know what it is." But the police say, "We want to hear you say it." And he says, "My name is Jeff." And that's it. That is the story of Jeffrey Manchester, aka the Roofman. I wanted to share this story because it's one of the most interesting cases that I've ever heard in my life. I learned it on a YouTube video some time ago in 2023, and now I'm making a YouTube video about it. It's crazy how everything comes in full circle, huh? But that's about it. I'm gonna stop yapping about it. I'm gonna stop going on. Yeah, the Roofman. Sources will be linked in the description below, socials as well. With all that being said, deuces.